Alright guys, so today we got the Arozzi Forte gaming chair, and it actually comes in quite a large box, and their slogan is keep yourself in the game. So this is a fabric edition, and they also do have the leather, and it does come in a few colors. So I got the black, so you can get white, red, or blue, but I prefer a more subtle kind of look. So here's a little bit more info about the chair, and I really like how they got this laid out, all the dimensions, how wide it is, how tall it is on the back and then the bottom. So this chair can accommodate up to 260 pounds. And the weight on this box is 58.4 pounds, but the chair itself weighs 50. All right, so let's open it up. So there's two straps that we need to cut. Now when you do cut this tape, be careful. It says here no knife, so don't go deep in there. All right, and this is the first thing we see. So we have the base, and it is all plastic, but it's really heavy duty. Feels very strong and robust. It does look like some kind of metal insert in the middle. Alright, so we have some cardboard, and right off the bat it looks really nice. So this is the backrest, and it is individually wrapped. More cardboard, and here we can see the bottom cushion, and it's actually quite wide, or it looks really wide. So alright, so we got a few more things in the box, some parts and the mechanism, and it looks like our instruction manual, and that's everything for the box. In this box, the mechanism part, and it seems to be pretty good quality. So here's the functions. You can lock it from tilting back and forth, or you go up and down by pulling on it. And we do have a tensioner here to control how much tension is on the rocking. And in this other box we see more pieces. So it looks like we have some trim pieces, telescoping trim for the shock, looks like gloves with an Allen wrench, and our casters. And these wheels look really nice, and our shock. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this thing in here, and this little telescope trim goes over it. It covers the shock where it, I guess, looks a little nicer. Alright, and so that's all of our pieces. So this shouldn't be very hard to put together. Let's go ahead and look at the manual. So we get a few things. So here's a little important note that tells you that there are bolts already on the backrest, just in case you're looking for them. And here we have the instructions of how to put it together. Okay, so step one, we gotta click our casters into the base. So I guess I shouldn't have put the shock in yet. Let's go ahead and take it out for now. So we're gonna flip this around. We're gonna grab our casters, and they definitely look pretty nice. The wheels spin quite easy. They are all plastic, looks like, and metal where it's needed, so looks pretty robust overall. And they should just clip in right in here. So I'm just gonna push on it, and that's it. So very simple. So you just want that to go all the way down in there to this lip right here. Alright, so we got our wheels on. We can flip it around, and that's what it looks like. Very nice. And by the way, it's a very wide base, so that's good. It should have really good stability. Alright, so step two is inserting the shock and then putting our little telescoping trim over it, which we have the whole thing right here. Let's go ahead and put it in there. Alright, looking good so far. So step four, they want us to have these going upright, and then we're going to put the backrest into the lower portion. So let's get this plastic off first. And while we're under here, check out what the bottom looks like. It's quite nice. All of this is metal. Feels very heavy duty. And also all our bolts are pre-mounted right here. And these green things are actually like rubber bands. And I guess they're to support the weight. Alright, so let's flip this thing back around. And this is what our fabric looks like. So the seat itself is very plush. So there's plenty of cushion there. So it seems like it would be very comfortable. And the fabric itself, I mean, it looks pretty generic, I guess, but it looks like it's that kind that breathes very easily, so you're not going to sweat on it. And this is the reason why I got the fabric. You know, even though I like the leather and how it looks better, the fabric seems to be better overall, especially if you sit in the chair a lot. So very nice. And over here we do have a little Arozzi logo. So on the back of the chair we have two brackets, and this one is just loose, but the one on this side is our recline bracket. So this is the one that has the mechanism where it reclines with this lever here, and it locks it in the exact place you need it. So we're going to point these up like this, and then we're going to set our backrest right on that. So let's go ahead and unwrap that. Alright, so this is what the backrest looks like, and it's really nice. We have another silica gel here, so the stitching looks pretty nice. And you guys can see we have a little pillow here, and if we bring that up, this is what it looks like. It's a nice little squishy pillow, and it looks like you can unzip it and I guess wash it or take the insides out. And so we have a permanent logo here on the chair, and then we have little pass-throughs right in the middle, and then we got more straps going down to the lower cushion. There is little Arozzi logos right there on the plastic. That's a nice touch. And if we flip it around, we can see there's another logo in the back, and here we can see the two straps and it looks like we can remove them, so let's go ahead and try to do that. And we can see the chair looks much cleaner already. And there are little Arozzi logos on the back also here on the plastic pieces. So alright, it looks super nice, and it looks like we do have zippers. So here's the backrest pillow. Once it's out, you guys can see the chair looks much nicer. Alright, so let's go ahead and connect the two pieces together, and before we do that, we need to take these bolts off of the backrest. So they do provide us the Allen wrench we need, and interestingly enough, some white gloves. So I guess if you wanted to wear these, you could. So we're going to get these bolts out, and there are two on each side. Alright, so the bolts are out from the side, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to set the backrest in between these two brackets. Just like this. And the holes here will match up with the nuts that are embedded in the backrest. So let's grab our bolt, and we're just going to start them on. So don't tighten it yet, let's go do the other side. So you might have to massage it in there a bit. It should fit, and I am pushing down on it for the holes to line up. Hey guys, simple as that. It just goes together right here on these brackets. So we can go ahead and tighten this side up all the way. Then go back to the other side and tighten these all the way up. So we did 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need to flip the chair on its side. And then 10, we're going to install the function mechanism underneath. So let's go ahead and bring the chair down. And underneath it, we can see there are 4 bolts that we need to take out. Alright, so all 4 of our bolts are out. Now we can grab our mechanism. And the way it goes, as you can see, it says here there's a sticker front pointing to the front, and that's down towards the front of the chair. So we're just going to line up the holes and then put our bolts back in. So we're going to run them down and then tighten them up really good. Alright, so that's nice and tight. Now while we're under here, I'm noticing that these armrest brackets here are sort of adjustable. And right now you can see that it's slid all the way this way. So it's not much, but a little bit. And it's the same on each side. So I think what I want to do is loosen these up and then move the armrest a little bit closer. Looks like about ½ an inch on each side will give you a whole inch closer, because these are quite wide apart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So if you're a smaller person and you feel like these are too far apart, then you can try to adjust these. Alright, so I adjusted these. You can see that they're closer together. So I think that's going to give us a better experience. Alright, so we did step 10. And now for the final step, it's connecting the upper portion to the base. And so we're simply going to set this whole chair over the top of the shock through that hole right there. So the best way for me to do it is just to insert the whole bottom assembly right into that hole, just like that, so you guys can kind of see. And now I can flip the chair over. And just like that, guys, our chair is pretty much built. Now we do have a couple more things we need to do, and that is install these trim pieces, and they just go on the side here. And that is step 13 and 14, you're all done. And so the way these go on is quite simple. They just clip in. We have a round tab, and that will click into here, and this one will click into that hole right there. So let's go ahead and clip the bottom in, and then the top will go into that hole. So we're just going to give it a nice little thump, and that's it. That's how it goes. It looks pretty nice. It's a very clean finish. So the same thing for this side. Click the bottom in. And that's it, guys. That is the chair. It's very nice. But it is all blacked out, and depending on, you know, if you like this kind of look or not, I think it looks great. So if you do get some of the red or the white accents in the chair, you know, it might look a little more flashy, but I kind of like the subtle look. It looks quite serious and quite attractive overall. So let's go ahead and look at the details here. So starting on the top, we have the logo, we have these pass-throughs, we have this really nice bolstering here on the top, and you can see it's quite aggressive. So it makes it look really good. The stitching has got a nice design, and as we go to the bottom cushion, we can see it's quite large. So here's my hand, and you can see how wide this chair is. So it should accommodate quite a large body, and this is the reason why I brought these in a bit to closer, so it'll be more comfortable. And speaking about these armrests, they do have a function that is to go up and down. You can see it travels right there, but they do not rotate. So just up and down, and there is a little bit of play in them, which I don't know, could be annoying maybe to some people. So I'm not sure if that could be fixed or not, but if they're lower, they play less. So the rest do have a nice squishy material to them, and I think it should last a long time. It feels quite durable, and the rest of it is all plastic, but this piece down here is actually metal. So yeah, it seemed to be pretty nice except for the wobble a bit, but I think most of the time my rests stay pretty much almost all the way down, so I should be okay with that. So on the side we have the tilt. So if you pull on this lever, and then you can adjust the backrest back and forth as you need it. And here we have the control for our mechanism. If we pull on the lever, the chair goes up. And also we have the lock for the rocking ability. So if you don't want it to rock, you just push it in and it locks it in. So pretty basic stuff. Pretty much every chair has this. And obviously we have our rocking tension adjuster right here. So yeah, as we go to the back, we can see what that looks like. Very clean back. pass through and a logo up there. So yeah, very nice chair overall, and I'm quite happy with it.